Stone, Kiki had 15 of the first 17. Was it the game plan to try to get the ball to her as much as possible, or was that just the way it kind of worked out today?
Once she scored our first 9, I was like, she's got it going on. Let's try to get her as many touches as possible. I think senior night can work in a lot of different directions. It can help you, it can hurt you, especially it being as emotional as it was for both Ty and Kiki, but also us. It takes your team back a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of crying in the locker room even before we got out there and celebrated our seniors.
Mike, Don, of course, this isn't your first senior day, but this is your first group of seniors that have been able to win a national championship with you that have been here, since that, because they were freshmen when they came in 4 years ago compared to the other seniors. What has this group, this duo, I should say, meant to you and just being able to continue to build this program in the direction that you want it to head?
What I like about it being a senior in that, you've been through our program for 4 years, and we all know that, things aren't, things don't run as smoothly as you would like them to, but they stood the test of time, and because of that, they've been successful. I can bottle it up and say they've had a successful career. They've enjoyed their experience here in South Carolina. We've enjoyed them, and we've enjoyed working with them through the maturation process of becoming successful young ladies. But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop here. We're gonna finish this season out, but they're always gonna be a part of our lives. If they get married, we're gonna be a part of their wedding. Well, actually, I don't know if we're gonna be in the wedding. We'll attend the wedding at least. But it's just a beautiful thing to see, the growth that took place from both of them. I think we probably saw a little bit, it was more evident with Kiki, and you never know how people process information and how they will mature, but Kiki's growth this year, it has come full circle, and I'm super proud of her for just sticking with us and her having a successful senior year.
Yeah, looking at today, maybe not your best offensive performance of the year. What was Texas A&M able to do to slow you guys down, and conversely, what were you able to do to give them a lot of trouble?
Yeah, they slowed the defensive side of the ball down. They just got back in their matchup and they stuck with it, and we really couldn't open the game up by pushing the ball down the floor. We couldn't hit any outside shots to open it up as well. But I think also it was them and their ability to do that. But also just senior day is just emotionally draining. I think probably every one of our players that played, it impacted in some kind of way, whether they got sped up and did things that they don't normally do or we haven't done in a long time, just being indecisive. I think they all wanted to impress our seniors. They all wanted to be a part of helping them in their regular season on the winning side of things. So I think that had an ill effect on our play overall.
Dawn, do you think there was some fatigue going into today? This being the 30th game of the season and starting so many freshmen.
I don't know. We basically took Friday off because they said they were a little fatigued. But I don't know. Have we played Sunday, Thursday, Sunday? Did we do that last week?
We did Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
So
Sunday, Thursday, Sunday.
yeah, so I don't know, but we'll get some rest, and hopefully we don't play until Friday. So hopefully we don't add rust to it over the week. We will take some days off and get back to it on Wednesday and get ourselves ready.
Also, Gary was in here and said that Aaliyah Boston is the Moses Malone of the college basketball game. Would you agree?
I think she sweats like him. Sorry, Aaliyah.
So, Coach, from day one, the march in the postseason was always this team's goal. But whenever we were asking about that, it was always a next game mentality for you guys. Now that next game is finally the postseason, just how refreshing is that for this team to finally have that goal ahead of them, and the next game is going to be playoff tournament time?
I mean, it's a lot of pressure, you know. It's a lot of pressure, especially when we've been having so much success. And you're always coaching against, you know, the bad play. Like, you know it's going to come. You just don't know when. And I was just always coaching from, when is this team going to play really bad? And, like, when we're going to really have to dig ourselves out of holes. And, you know, it got close. I wanted this season to end a lot sooner than today. But, I mean, this team it welcomes challenges. And now we have the challenge of winning our regular season undefeated. Now the next challenge is to win the SEC tournament. And we'll put that in front of them on Wednesday, and we'll just play it out.
Don, along those same lines, I guess it must be refreshing in the back of your mind to know that this postseason is going to run pretty close to campus. You know, next week in Greenville, but back home for a couple of games, and then if things go right, back in Greenville. That's got to be nice for you guys to know that that is ahead, that path is ahead.
I mean, yes. I mean, it is. I think somebody mentioned that we won't have a plane ride until, if we make it to New Orleans, and that's good. I think that will help us as far as we won't log the minutes in the air or the hours in the air trying to get to this place or the next. It's a bus ride, and it's a close bus ride, and what we need to do is make it work for us, make it advantageous to us. But you got to play the games, and everybody else that has to play in Greenville or come here and play, they have a say in it. It's not just us talking, so we got to take care of business.
You were able to throw a couple different looks at Kennedy Carter today. How did you feel about, younger players like Zaya and Destiny that played, significant minutes defensively on her?
I thought they were up for the challenge. I mean, we told them exactly how good Kennedy is. I mean, she's very, very good. And I thought she would just play off the crowd because she came in here, she scored almost 40 points against us last year. And they were just up for the challenge. I think we painted a picture of how good she was, and, they painted a picture of defending that. And I thought Zai was good. Zai contested all of her shots. She made some clutch shots. Destiny Henderson, we put a little bit of speed and, smaller size on her. I thought that bothered her somewhat. I mean, and then we send her down to our bigs, and she had to try to score over our bigs. And, I thought we executed that to perfection.
And then, people have talked about your depth offensively where, you can't really key in on one person because everyone can kind of score. Do you feel like you've built that same depth defensively?
We're a far better defensive team with what we have coming off the bench. Lily is super athletic and big and competitive. Henny is small and lightning quick, and she gets in you and under you. Victoria and Letitia, they're shot blockers. They're rim protectors. So we get a little bit better we don't lose much when we have to go to our bench from a defensive side.
Yeah, just to go 16-0 in SEC play. Obviously, you've done it before, but what does that say about this team?
I mean, they're good. They're good. They are. They're good. After playing 30 games, you are who you are, and this team is good. They've been challenged, and I can say that because of who we play, not because of practice, although that helps because they approach practice in a business-like way. But we've been tested. We've been tested throughout this entire season, and they've passed the test, and they're good, no doubt about it. They're good. They're good across the line. I know I'm going somewhere with this. Across the line, some people don't even mention us in their articles, not one of our players. We are good, and if any media person that decides not to include us in conversation talks about best teams in the country, we need to get them checked quickly and admit it somewhere.
Well, Don, going off from that, you'll like to hear this then. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the 29 wins today, that's the most in Gamecock history heading into postseason play. That edges out the 2015-16 season. knowing that you guys still have a lot to do, you have two great leaders that have been here before, that have been able to win a national championship, but what do you tell the younger girls and just the message in order of saying, hey, there's a new season ahead of us?
I mean, we just, we just tell them to turn the page and just stay in character. It doesn't, yes, it does change. The stakes get a little bit higher, but the team that's able to take the floor and be who they were for 30 games, if we could just do that, that favors us, without a doubt, it favors us. But we don't know. I mean, as much as we could tell them, when they get down to Greenville and it's the quarterfinals, and somebody runs at us, 10-0 run, how they respond to that. Hopefully it's how they responded all season long when that happened to us. I mean, we were down 9 with Mississippi State. Who else? I mean, who else played us close? I mean, Kentucky went on a few runs, and we were able to just stay in character and finish the game.
Coach Sean Kaiser, the woman that you walked with at halftime, you went to her home and told her she's going to walk in front of 18,000 people. How did you coach her for that moment, and why was it so important to you that she walk across the court?
I went to the rehab center
rehab.
when she was, when she first went there to get her prosthetics fitted and on to, living a more, I wouldn't living a life in which a lot will change for her. And she was, she cried a lot. She cried a lot. And you tend to do that when something as traumatic happened to you and your family. And how I deal with that is just you gotta fight through. Yes, cry, because that's it's give it its space, and then when you're done crying, let's get on your feet and let's move. And then I just try to challenge her, challenge her to look past to that day, and if she can look, 6 weeks from that day, I challenge her to walk across the court. And, I periodically checked on her. She has great support. But when she was actually walking faster than I could walk, which is telling. She put a lot of time into it, but it felt good to be a part of that moment and bring awareness, because the weather's going to break and there are people going to do some things on the lake that they probably shouldn't do. But if we can bring awareness to it, maybe that won't happen to anybody. We won't have to walk across the court with anybody having to deal with that.
Dawn, you've won SEC championships before. You've gone 16-0 in the league before. Does this one feel any different than some of those others earlier?
It feels different than that is current. But it does feel a little different in that. We have players who can score and defend at every position, and then we have people that come off the bench. So we're probably as solid of a team that I've ever coached. And it feels good. You get the anxiety to start basketball games, and you're sitting back in the locker room. It's like, oh, what kind of team is going to show up today? But a small part of me or a big part of me really knows this team is going to compete, is going to make good plays, is going to make good decisions, is going to defend. If our shot's not falling, they're going to defend. They're going to give it up. So it feels good not second-guessing that. So that's a little bit different.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you all.
Thank you.